everybody, welcome to Mission Bend Branch. I'm Natasha, and this is You Can't Avoid Adulting, Learn How to Sew a Button. Today I'm going to show you how to sew in a button with 2 buttonholes and one with 4. Now what you're going to need is the button you need to sew on. I'm going to sew it onto this piece of scrap fabric I have from home. You're going to need a needle. This is what mine looks like. You're going to need a pair of sewing scissors like these. These are the ones I use for my cross stitching. And you're going to need the thread that you want to put it in with. Now you're going to need a nice strong thread. This is quilting thread that I borrowed from my mom's sewing kit. So it's a nice strong thread. You don't want to use this kind that's mostly used for cross stitching or embroidery. It's not strong enough. It's strong, but not strong enough for what you want it to do. So we don't need her. We need something strong. So let's get started. First, you're going to go ahead and pull the amount of thread you need. We're going to go with a nice decent length. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Like so. And we don't need much right now because it's just a little sample sewing. But when you do the real thing, you might need a lot more thread than this if you want to make sure it's on. You know, it's nice. To thread your needle, in case you haven't done that recently or at all ever, the easiest way to do it is you just want to wet it, so you can either lick your fingers or just run it on your tongue like so, which then boop, there it goes. It goes through, and then you're going to want to tie a knot at the end right there. And then we're going to go ahead and tie a knot. And then we're going to add the button. This is the hard part. Tying the 2 threads together is always the one that gets me. You want a bigger knot. This is a tiny little knot. I don't know if you can see it on my finger there, but we're going to go ahead and need a bigger knot than that. So keep going until you have a decent size knot that you are happy with. Okay. It's getting a little bit bigger. We might need just a little bit more, a couple more knots just to be safe. I always like to do a couple extra at the end, just to make sure. Because when I was first learning, I didn't do enough and right through the thread. There we go. There we go. So you can see now we have a decent sized knot on the fabric. I mean on the thread right there. Okay, so you're gonna want to cut this little tail off like so. Not all the way at the end of the knot, but you want to leave just like a little tiny bit. You want to leave a little tiny bit right there at the end. So now your needle is secure. You can get started. So we're going to start with the yellow button. So just place it on the fabric where you want to do it like so. Just poke through. This is how you know I'm pulling on the thread, so it's not coming through. And then just poke back through and keep going. You're going to want to do this quite a few times simply because you need it to be nice and strong. So when you put on your shirt or put on your pants or your skirt or what have you, it stays. You don't want to be putting it on and snap, the button goes flying, because that has happened before. Oop, I was poking in the wrong spot. That's the fun part, figuring out where the hole is. So I can't find it right now. There we go. A little bit of a hang up right there. I'm going to do it a few more times to make sure it's nice and tight on there. Okay. Mind you, I am using felt, so it's a little bit more difficult to poke through. But when you use a nice soft fabric like a shirt or whatnot, it'll be much easier. And if you are sewing a button on a pair of jeans, you need to get a special needle for that, because this standard sewing needle that I have here, that will not go through jeans, because jeans are a strong material. Okay, so we're gonna, this is the last time we'll put it through, and I'm gonna show you how I've become accustomed to tying them off. So here you can see the back of our fabric, our shirt, our whatnot. So you're gonna go, oh, let me flip it around. So you're gonna go like so, under all this, right here, just like a little bit of it, not all of it. So you're under some of the stitches you made. You're gonna take this loose thread and you're gonna wrap it. See, you're gonna wrap it around the needle like that. Make a couple loops. Push it through. And it's tightened it right there. And because I like to be sure that I did it nice and tight so it stays on there, I'm gonna go back through and do it one more time. Like that. Push it through and pull. And look, it's not gonna be perfect. We are learning. Okay, once you have your 2 knots or your 1, cut your thread and get your needle out. Put it aside. So you're gonna have these 2 threads and you're just gonna make some more knots. Just like you would like a standard knot, no special anything. And again, you can make as many knots to make it secure as you would like, whatever makes you comfortable. Apparently that's enough for me. That'll happen, you'll snap it. You cut it off right there, put that aside, and look, you got yourself a 2-hole button sewed on. Now let's go ahead and do the 4-hole button. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and sew on our 4-hole button. We've already gotten threaded through the first hole here, but I just wanted to run something by you. The reason you don't want to use this cross stitch thread is because, as you can see right here, the ends fray a whole lot easier, and that's why you have to wet the ends of the thread when you go to do your thread through the eye of the needle. So this one's much stronger. Sometimes you don't even have to wet the ends to get this into the needle. Anyway, so we're gonna start through 1. Sometimes you can go across like this, like up and down like this. I like to do an X, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. So you come out 1, you're gonna go diagonal. Make sure we got it on right there. Put it in like so. Once you get your rhythm going when you're sewing, you forget everything else. So we just gotta poke through if we can do that. That felt is tough. I feel like the X pattern when putting on a 4-hole button is a whole lot stronger. That's why it's what I prefer using. But again, if you want to use a different manner, then feel free to do that. Whichever makes it easy for you is a whole lot better to go with. Okay, so we're gonna go through again. And we're gonna do like we did on the other button. We're just gonna do quite a few passes as the material allows. Ow. Always be careful, folks, because you might stick yourself, and you do not want that. Let's pull it nice and tight. Right here, we can find the spot. There we go. And that's the sound of be breaking through the fabric because, like I said, this stuff is tough. I don't actually have that much spare fabric lying around the house these days. I got bored during quarantine, so I used it all up doing things. Okay, I'm gonna do one more pass, and that should be good. But remember, if you're doing it on like a pair of pants or a shirt, you want to do as many as you're comfortable with to make sure that button is secure on there. So there we go. Now we're going to do the same thing we did last time. And we're going to pass it under a few of your stitches right here. There we go. You're going to pass it, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to pass it under these ones right here. Let's get everything untangled, like so. Then you're gonna wrap it around this loop of thread that you have left over. You're gonna wrap some around the needle like so, 1 time and 2 times. And then you're gonna push the needle through and just pull. Don't pull too hard because you might snap the thread like I did last time. I have it a few times that's happened to me. But hey, we can always fix that. So then we wrap it around the end of the needle twice more, push it through, and pull it taut, like so. Okay, and then we take our little sewing scissors. Got these on Amazon for, I believe, $5 or $6. Cut it, and you're gonna have your 2 little threads free right here. Mine have seemed to curled up. There we go. I'm gonna make a few knots just to make super duper sure that button will not go flying off when you're putting on whatever it is that you fix the button on. So there we go. And a 2 and 1 more. Just because I like to be super careful. Ooh, where's the end? There we go. Okay. So it's nice and tight. Grab your extra pieces and cut. And there you have it. You got your 2 buttons sewn on, one with the 4 holes and one with the 2. And it's nice and secure, as you can see. I do know if I probably pull hard enough, I can rip it right off, but we're not gonna do that. But see, nice and secure, loose enough that it'll fit in the button hole. And there you have it. Thanks for joining us for You Can't Avoid Adulting Button Sewing Edition. And next time we'll have another fun one for you. So we'll see you then. Bye.